Andy, before you got involved in the Great Britain hockey setup, could you give us a brief background of your occupation?
So before I worked with Great Britain Hockey, I was a police officer with the Metropolitan Police for 30 years, including 18 years as a specialist firearms officer. I think that gave me a great grounding for working with elite athletes. I played international hockey during my police career, not to a brilliant standard, but I think working on firearms operations, I did nearly up towards 3,000 in total, gave me a great grounding for working in elite sport.
The FIH Pro League is always a tough competition. Are you happy with the team preparation for the league?
The FIH Pro League, tough competition, very new to us last year with a home and away format around the world, which meant that our preparation changed because we're very used to playing tournament play, I guess. So traveling across the world to play one game was very different, but we got into a very good routine, I guess. A lot of traveling, quite challenging for both staff and athletes being away from home more than they would be normally. This year, I think different with now 2 games against each nation, but both those games, rather than having one home, one away, I think having 2 games at home or 2 games away will cut down on the traveling, and I guess will make it'll certainly reduce the stress of traveling, reduce the stress of being around the world. But I think the big thing for us is we are using the Pro League to prepare for the Olympic Games. The Olympic Games in hockey is the biggest competition that any staff or athlete is going to be involved in. So it's really all about prep for the Olympics. So using the Pro League to work towards Tokyo, I think, is our aim.
What are some of the ambitions the Great Britain team has with the upcoming 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games?
Ambitions for Great Britain for the Olympics this year? That's a tough one. We currently sit ranked 7th in the world. I think we have the ability within the group to upset any of the top nations. I guess you're tugging on the shirt tails of Belgium, Australia, Holland, the top nations. But I think, we are doing our very best around meticulous preparation for the Olympic Games. So how can we prepare our athletes to be robust enough physically and mentally to withstand 8 games in 13 days, which is what the Olympics is all about. I guess for us, it's we're an outside chance of winning a medal. I wouldn't stick my neck out there and say, yeah, we're definitely gonna win a medal. But I think if we can perform and peak in the Olympic Games, then I wouldn't certainly not rule us out, and it'd be fantastic. We're certainly aiming for a spot on the rostrum.
During your time with the team, have you seen the desired growth within the structures of hockey in Great Britain?
Have I seen the growth within the structures of GB hockey? I think hockey is a little confused actually where it sits in the UK. It's very much a family sport. Quite a lot of schools play it, but it has a very strong club base. We have just over 100,000 hockey players within the UK. Our top level athletes are funded and supported by UK Sport and the National Lottery. There is a I think there is a struggle you see between the club setup and the balance with the international setup, because the majority of people in the UK play hockey for fun. Um, but obviously, the success of GB women in the Rio Olympic Games shows that we're obviously doing something right within the organisation. I think the support we get from UK sport and Sport England with the grassroots game is exceptional. Um, I've seen hockey grow certainly in my time playing, and then we did have a bit of a boost following Rio 2016. But I think hockey's got as big as it probably will be. Um, it'd be great to get sellout crowds for Pro League games and home internationals, but I'm not sure that we will ever see that.
You have done some fantastic work with hockey by playing the highest hockey match in history in Nepal. Tell us more about that.
So in the summer, I got involved in a project to play the highest game of hockey ever played to get into the Guinness Book of Records. It was a joint initiative between Lincoln Minster School and Hockey for Heroes. I also decided that with my extreme hockey dribbling that I invented back in 2012, I think I'm the only one that does it though. I invented it, but I'm the only one that actually um, raises money for charity by dribbling balls around the world. So I dribbled a ball up to 18,000 feet on Annapurna as part of Operation Olympus, which was this attempt to play the highest game of hockey. So we went with Hockey for Heroes and Lincoln Minster School, and we got up to 18,000 feet, 5,200 meters, and played a game of hockey. I think altitude sickness was kicking in, certainly with me and with a few. It was one of the toughest things I've ever done, but brilliant to put hockey on the map in Nepal. An outstanding, beautiful country. So pleased that I've managed to visit. You meet and the most fantastic people. You go to the most fantastic places. And I've raised quite a few £1,000s for charity as a result. So an incredible experience. And we are just waiting for authentication of our game so that we are actually seen to be in the Guinness Book of Records. But it was just the most incredible trip.
You also dribbled a ball 200 miles from Cardiff to London in support of Hockey for Heroes Operation Stretch in 2017. What led to you taking it on, and how can we find out more about Hockey for Heroes?
How did the extreme hockey dribbling start? Well, it was a sort of rather drunken idea after a couple of beers, where somebody challenged me to run the London Marathon while dribble a hockey ball. So I did with Jason Lee, who was then the Great Britain men's head coach. We dribbled a ball 5.5 hours it took us to get around the London Marathon, and got bitten by the extreme hockey dribbling bug. Really all about raising money for charity. And the next challenge was the Three Peaks in 2014. Dribbled Ben Nevis, Snowdon and Scaffold Pike, the three highest peaks in the UK. Raised a lot of money for charity again. I think it was about 7,000 or 8,000 I think we raised, which was again fantastic effort. Really enjoyed it. I then thought, well, I'll hang up my my dribbling boots, and got bitten by Hockey for Heroes. I'm an ambassador for Hockey for Heroes. They were doing a big charity fundraiser called Operation Stretcher, where they were carrying a paraplegic ex-Royal Marine from Cardiff to London, as well as playing 30 games of hockey in 10 days. So I said I'd dribble a hockey ball behind the stretcher throughout that trip. Again, a great fundraiser. Hockey for Heroes, big charity in the UK. We are a splinter charity of Help for Heroes. So we're raising money for Help for Heroes through playing hockey. A few ex-service personnel, ex-police officers, and just people who generally believe in the charity. So that's been brilliant. They have a website, Hockey for Heroes. If you Google Hockey for Heroes, you'll find the website, and certainly they're raising 100k a year to support our service personnel. So it's highly worthwhile.
Do you have any other upcoming project that we could know more about?
I guess officially, I sort of hung up my extreme hockey dribbling stick after my trip to the Himalayas. So there's nothing in the pipeline, but never say never. A few things have been discussed around dribbling John O'Groats to Land's End in the UK, dribbling the Great Wall of China. I'm not sure about any of that. We need somebody. I'm 57. We need somebody younger to take on the mantle and take on the responsibility of being the UK's only extreme hockey dribbler. But we'll see. So nothing in the pipeline at the moment. I'm looking forward, obviously, to the Olympic Games, working with Great Britain, but nothing planned on the charity front. Although Hockey for Heroes have got Operation Valkyrie, which is their next big fundraising event, which is the end of May, June next year.
You have been involved with England, Great Britain hockey since 2010 as a manager. Tell us one of the greatest games you have witnessed.
Yes, I guess I've managed the England and Great Britain team now for 10 years. A lot of memorable games along the way. I guess you always remember the games where you win medals. But actually, it's one of the earliest games that is the most memorable for me. We were in Delhi in India at the World Cup in 2010. We'd had a very, very difficult preparation phase leading up to the games where there had been a terrorist threat to the competition and also to us as a team. We went to the competition with this sort of hanging over us, I guess, but I was involved in the process that prepared the team and investigated what was going on behind the scenes with my other role as a police officer. And so I guess I played a dual role as team manager as well as working with the security services towards this quite difficult situation that we had. And our first game was against the world champions Australia, and against all odds we beat them in a full house in front of a full house in Delhi. India were playing Pakistan in the game after us. I guess we were the curtain raiser, but everybody forgot the security situation after they'd beaten Australia, which is what tends to happen, and it was great that we could actually concentrate on the hockey. So it was a 3-2 win. I guess that was probably one of the greatest games over the years, one of the most memorable games that I've been involved in. Any win against Australia for an England or Great Britain team is always memorable. Obviously, the rivalry around the Ashes and in every sport you see England, Australia, Great Britain, Australia means a great deal to us, as it does to the Kookaburras, the Australian hockey team as well.
One fixture that you're thoroughly looking forward to in the near future?
What fixture am I looking forward to in the near future? Well, obviously looking forward to the Pro League again. That will take us on our travels to Australia and New Zealand and around Europe. Where the Pro League we're playing India at home, we're playing Argentina at home. So our travel's really only going to take us out to Australia, New Zealand and Europe. I guess for me, that opening game at Tokyo, the Olympic Games at Tokyo, I missed the Rio Olympics, so it'd been my first Olympic Games since London. It being the pinnacle for any athlete
and any member of staff in hockey competing in the Olympic Games. So I think that first game in Tokyo, I'm really looking forward to that. And being around the Olympic family, all the athletes and staff around the village, really looking forward to that.
Andy, thank you so much for your time. It's great to chat to you about hockey in Great Britain and where you guys are going and the objectives that you guys have. Wishing you all the best for your upcoming tournaments, and trust it all go well. Chat again soon. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Chat soon. Bye.